Hey everyone, welcome to this Sacred Sunday segment. I am so glad that you're here, receiving this information, joining me, maybe on a Sunday morning. Maybe it's not Sunday morning for you, but I want to share 10 minutes of inspired encouragement and practical ways that you can begin to manifest the miracles that you've been praying and asking for. And so, if you're watching this video, the chances are high that at some point in your life, somewhere along the way, something very miraculous has happened to you. Maybe once, maybe multiple times. A miracle happened. It was out of the norm. It was not something that followed the standard operating procedure of life. And it just showed up for you. And so I want to address that really quickly because I think sometimes whenever we are praying or asking for a miracle, whether it be for healing or for a financial support or a relationship, or our career or our purpose, or we're just feeling lost and overwhelmed emotionally. We're praying and pleading with God or that higher power that we're calling on for a miracle. We can be really confused about how miracles happen and continue to operate in a way that seems like miracles are happenstance, like they're hit or miss. And I want to share something with you today that can guarantee a miracle in your life if you will address these three things. All right. So, the first thing to examine in your life is, do you have a desire? So, the chances are, if you're sick, you're desiring to be healthy. If you're broke, you're desiring some kind of financial support. If you're out of relationship, you're desiring relationship and connection. If you are without a job or you're in a career that you really don't enjoy or you're in a job that you don't love, chances are you're desiring something better, right? So there is always that place and point of desire. I think it's safe to say that most people do have at least one place in their life where there is a burning desire. Now, maybe you felt so disappointed and you felt like your desires have not come to fruition. And it's happened over and over again that you've kind of just relinquished yourself to maybe shutting down that feeling of desire. So if that has happened to you, I want to encourage you that you're not alone. And I understand what it feels like to be discouraged like that. However, there are ways for you to begin to nurture again the hope, the slightest hope that you could have something that you truly desire. And if you'll listen and follow these three things that I'm going to share with you today, I can assure you that with practice and putting these things into play in your life on a consistent basis, your desires will come to fruition. You will experience what you've called a miracle, but you'll experience it on a more consistent basis. And you'll start to see it's not really a miracle. It's just the way that God moves and the way that God has designed us to actually live, right? So the first thing is desire. Check in. What is it that you're desiring right now? What desires do you have that you feel like are unfulfilled? Make note of those things. Take a mental audit or write them down in a journal. These are places where I feel my desires have been unfulfilled. I've been longing for this thing and it still hasn't shown up in my life. But get really clear on what your desires are. The second thing is belief, right? So you have a desire, but do you believe that you can have what you want? And this is one that I think hangs a lot of people up, right? It's like, well, I've been so disappointed. I've wanted things in the past and it didn't work out, or I've gotten what I asked for and then it turned out to be a disaster, right? And so that could be because you're not actually really clear on your desire. You might be thinking that you want this person or that you want this job when really you're wanting love or you're wanting more freedom, right? That's really at the bottom of the desire. That's the real desire. So start to get a little clearer on what your desire really is, right? Stop wrapping the desire up with specifics. Start to look at the heart of the desire. So desire and then belief. And if you're like, Jody, I just can't believe anymore that my desires will come to fruition, I'm going to say to you, I know how that feels. I've been where you are, and I'm here to tell you that there is hope on the other side of your despair. And the fact of the matter is, if you can muster even just the tiniest bit of hope or belief that maybe be somewhere outside of everything that's going on, there could be a chance that this could happen for you. Then you can start to get that snowball going where it starts to grow and grow and grow. Now, maybe you're the kind of person that's like, I know what I desire and I believe it can happen for me. And so I would say, awesome, let's look at the third thing. So the third thing you need in place is you need expectancy, or as I like to call it, faith. Faith and expectancy are the same thing. So think of expectancy like this. Whenever you get up in the morning, if you make a stop at the bathroom, whenever you get up, you go into the bathroom, and the first thing you do is you reach for the light switch and you turn it on. You do that because you expect the light to come on. You're only moving according to what you know is going to happen when you touch that light switch, because it's been wired a certain way so that when you flip the switch, the light comes on. And so you don't go to the light switch going, oh, I believe the light will come on, or I hope the light will come on. You go there, you flip the switch because you know you expect it to be there. This is what expectancy or faith is. And so we have to learn how to live in expectancy that our desire is already available to us and that it will come. If you've ever experienced a miracle in your life, I'm going to tell you right now that your burning desire, your hope that it would happen, and your expectancy is what pulled that miracle into your reality. You got so desperate that you began to insist that this had to happen, or else what? You were going to die. You were going to be hungry. You were going to be homeless. You were going to not survive, right? So something in you at a deep, deep level got so insistent that this must happen, or it was all going to be over. And then what do you know? The next thing, the thing shows up. The miracle happens, right? It's because of the expectancy. Now you look at that and you go, Jody, I was just desperate. Like I was just crossing my fingers. And I'm going to say this to you. No, something deep in you said, this must happen or else, right? So it was building up that expectancy in you that was like, it has to happen, right? Maybe you've even said that in your mind. That's what expectancy looks like. Only as you get more practiced in it, it starts to relax in you. You start to feel more ease. You start to feel more open, and you just walk in and you walk to the thing that you're desiring with such grace and ease and flow. That's the purpose of this practice, right? I assess my desire. I acknowledge whether or not I believe that this could happen for me, even if it's a teeny tiny amount of belief. And then if I can find the belief, I begin to practice walking in expectancy. I've said this before. I've said that faith looks like this. You pray and ask God for rain. We need rain. God, it's dry. It's just a desert here. Maybe that's metaphoric in your life, but you're praying for rain and then you walk out of your house without your umbrella. So my question is, are you actually expecting God to answer your prayer? Because you didn't move in a way that was prepared to receive the thing you asked for. That's what expectancy looks like. Some people do very normal, average things in this dimension, like they're praying for something new in their life and they go clean out space so that it can come, right? That's expectancy. I got to make room for this. Maybe that's what you need to do in your life. But there is a way to begin practicing expectancy so that you build your muscle of faith, and the things that you've called miracles begin to happen more frequently and more consistently. And it builds and builds and builds that muscle of faith that you're holding so that you begin to move in your life, knowing that the desire that it is in your heart is God's message to you about what God wants to bring to your life. So that's it for this Sunday. That's our 10 minutes, our Sacred Sunday segment. I hope you'll meet me back here again next week.